So what's that reaction going to be like when Roger Goodell hands that Super Bowl trophy to Tom Brady? Or is he going to hand that Super Bowl trophy over to Matt Ryan? What do you guys want to see? Kyle Gaffner is here. I'm Adrian Fedke. I'm not a Patriots fan, not a Tom Brady fan, but goddamn, I'm pretty damn intrigued about a potential Roger Goodell, Tom Brady little meetup at midfield and a potential victory for the Patriots.
It's gonna be like meeting up with your ex-girlfriend that didn't end well. Is it gonna be that type of blowout? They're both saying the right things. PR, they're gonna be like, oh, it's no big deal. We've moved on from it. But could there be fireworks sparked when Goodell and Brady meet? They become arch nemesis, I feel. The good versus the bad. You know, the fans got on Rodgers' back the other day when they were chanting his name. They hate this man. They hate the Roger Goodell up in New England. So if that is in fact if they do win the Super Bowl, which they're favored to do.
Yeah, I could just see Tom giving him like a wet willy, or like a big
noogie. Or a noogie, something like that. Like, come here, buddy. Let me give you a noogie. I got my Uggs on.
I'm also picturing like them posing for the camera and them just like shooting off curses to each other
under their breath.
Yeah,
like, smiles happening, and it's like, yeah, oh, this,
you, Roger.
Yeah, screw you, Roger. Beep, beep, beep. I had to block it all out.
Oh, man. All right. So let's get into this game. We won't make this too long of a preview. We'll get it, let's say 10, 15 minutes. We'll see how long we make this. But, all right. I want to get into Tom Brady's legacy, Bill Belichick's legacy, the Patriots' legacy to start. If Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, is he the greatest quarterback of all time? Or is he already the greatest quarterback of all time?
He's already the greatest quarterback of all time. This would just add to his accolades. He'd have it over Bradshaw, Montana, because they have only had 4 rings. I think there's only one guy that's not a quarterback that has 5 rings, and that's Charles Haley that has 5 rings. But he's a defensive end. He gets no love. It's a quarterback's type of game. So he already has that locked up. He's the best ever. I mean, the guy has had an incredible career. I mean, he's played in the league, 17, 18 years, whatever it is now, and he shows no signs of slowing down.
For me, Peyton Manning was always better. And then the last, 4 years happened. And I've, changed my mind. You know, once Brady got that last Super Bowl, that's when things started changing for me. And now he's, at 39, and he's putting up these ridiculous numbers. Because for the longest time for me, I thought Tom Brady was great because of the system, and for the first couple years of his career, they really babied him because they had a great defense and they were conservative on offense, and he just didn't turn the ball over. And then things began to change, like 06, 07, when Randy Moss came to town, and that's when he really started putting up numbers, and when the Patriots really started shifting more towards that spread offense and the spread principles that are now in place right now. So I will say, yes, he is the greatest of all time. I can't believe I'm saying that because I never thought I would say that. I never considered him better than Peyton Manning 4 years ago. And now I think he's the greatest of all time. Have you always had him ahead of Manning?
No, I was always a Peyton guy too. Just because of what Peyton did, just the way he controlled an offense, his ability to spread the field, make audibles. I mean, he was just amazing back there. He didn't need an offensive coordinator, really. Peyton Manning was the coach in all aspects. But like you had said, Tom Brady is just amazed what he has done. And Peyton always choked when it came to the big games.
Yep.
Tom Brady always had the ability to be clutch in the big moments. So that's where you kind of put that notch above Peyton Manning. And you look at their Super Bowl records, Peyton has the 2, Brady's got the 4. He was the greatest, I think, regular season quarterback for Peyton because of the numbers that he put up. But imagine if Tom Brady had the teammates that Peyton Manning had. If he had the Reggie Waynes, the Marvin Harrisons, there's 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers right there. And he's always had really no-name guys other than Randy Moss those for the couple of years there. But look at the numbers. They put up record numbers that year. He had an outstanding wide receiver. So you've kind of just had like no-name guys put into that system, but that's the name of the game when it comes to Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Well, the other way you could spin it too is what if Peyton Manning always had that defense? You know,
That's true.
Ty Law, all those guys, Willie McGinnis,
Teddy Bruschi.
yeah, Rodney Harrison, you know, all those guys. What if Brady, you know, because Brady, again, in his first 5 years of his career, he was very, very conservative. And that's why I just always had Manning ahead of him. Even I looked past the playoff exits. I was just like, well, you know, I just thought Manning did a lot more. And now I just feel differently. Last 4 years is really that last Super Bowl he won really just changed everything for me. So he was able to win another Super Bowl like 10 years later, basically. So
yeah, after that dominant teams of the early 2000s, you're right, because he didn't really have the defense there. It was a shift. It went from a great defense over to a great offense run by him as the focal point.
Mm-hmm. And you always considered Joe Montana the greatest before?
Joe Montana? Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah, you had to give it to Joe.
Yeah. So it's a little bit like the Dan Marino, Joe Montana debate back in the day, but this is different because, Brady, because like Joe Montana was finesse, right? And Dan Marino was just like a gunslinger.
Yeah.
He put up a lot of yards and like put up the stats, and that's what Peyton Manning did. And Brady for a while he didn't put up the stats, and then he had that 1 year where he put up 50 touchdowns with Randy Moss. So that changed.
That changed the game. It changed the whole dynamic, and they've gotten you kind of got Gronk in there to be his go-to guy now.
Yeah, got Gronk now. Yep.
You
know what else always got me with Brady was I saw Matt Castle go in there and go 11-5.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, well, like I always felt it was the system. Like I always felt that way. But again, it's changed because of just how damn clutch he is, and just like whenever there's a big game, he's always up for it, and
he just shines in the big moments, and he's just so clutch.
Like, is there a big game where he didn't perform?
Not that I can remember. I really can't.
Peyton Manning, there's his games where he has like 3 or 4 picks, and like you remember them.
Oh yeah, you're never gonna forget them. That's why you have that lean going towards Brady, because if Peyton was able to pull that out, I think it would be a little bit closer of a race. But that pick he threw against the Saints in the Super Bowl, that was all on Peyton Manning. Yeah.
He didn't play well against Chicago, and he won the Super Bowl MVP. But
go ahead. Yeah. I was going to say that was the only year the Colts had a really good defense.
Because Bob Sanders freaking had an unbelievable postseason.
And then they had the bookends. They had Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney coming off the edge. Yeah, but Bob Sanders was the difference maker there.
Yep. So, Peyton Manning has had his, like, even when you look at the Seahawks, you had Peyton Manning playing 1 year, struggled. They lost 43-8. Then the next year, Tom Brady goes in there and he wins the game, 28-24.
Comes all the way down, yeah.
But he performed against that defense. Peyton Manning couldn't. Peyton Manning, like the first play of the game was a safety, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a botched snap. It flew over his head.
I mean, that wasn't his fault, but still, like that's when you think about Peyton. That's what you think about was that first play. When you think of Peyton Manning, that's what you think about. You think of those blunders,
blunders like that, and there seems to be a couple in those big moments, and that was the greatest offense to ever step on the field that year. To ever play the game. That was such a high octane. I was so excited for that Super Bowl, and it was over in the first quarter. That game was terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. My recap was like written in like the third quarter. Like I was ready. It was just done. All right, so let's talk about this now. Okay, so each decade for like since the Super Bowl's been kind of in here. I mean, even before that. So the 1950s. The Cleveland Browns was like that team. The 60s, it was the Packers. The 70s, it was the Steelers. The 80s, it was the Niners. 90s, it was Dallas. 2000s, it was the Patriots. But this decade, we really haven't had that team of the decade now. That team of the 2010s, and if the Patriots win this game, it'll be their second Super Bowl now in the last 3 years.
Mhm.
So would they be the team again of this decade? Think about that for a second when you've been comparing and putting Tom Brady as the greatest quarterback of all time. You're talking about the Patriots now ruling the last 2 decades in football.
You have to, and I was thinking that too. It would go close to Seattle too if they were able to make it back because they've just been phenomenal.
If they win a Super Bowl, like if the Patriots win it this year, but the Seahawks go and they win it again, I would think they would be the team.
You'd have to give it to them just because they have dominated. Russell Wilson, that dynamic defense, they've just overpowered. They've just kind of came out of the floodgates. So it would be close, but you'd have to give it to the Patriots because they have owned it. And it's just been that focal point of Tom Brady being in the same system and just dominating. They've owned the AFC East for what was the graphic? Only one other team has won it in the past 15 or 16 years.
And that was when probably they had Matt Castle. Because it was the Dolphins in 2008 with the Wildcat.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. Oh, I'm sorry, there was 2. And then the Jets had it back in 2002. So there was 2 times.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because they didn't make the playoffs the year after they won the Super Bowl.
So there was 2 times. But, I mean, look at that dominance. That shows something on how amazing this team has been and how clutch Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have been. I mean, they're a match made in heaven. I mean, it's just I hate the Patriots. I hate them. But you got to give credit where it's deserved.
You respect them.
You have to give them respect because this is something you're watching history here of what this team has done and what this coach has done.
Actually, now that I think about it, like we forget already the appearance back in 2011 against the Giants.
Yep.
They had another Super Bowl appearance, so this is actually the 3rd one. So actually, yeah, I think they're going to win on Sunday, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won another Super Bowl by the time the decade's over.
I wouldn't doubt it either because they're still young. They're really building up that defensive side of the ball. They're getting young on that side, and they're adding pieces still. You've got young running backs over there. They've built up their offensive line. That's young, and you're just going to add pieces here. You got Michael Floyd. You just picked up. You got a DUI. You can just get playmakers. They just happen to take chances on guys, and they just build it up. Gronk, I don't know what's going to happen with him because he's had a lot of major injuries. So who knows what's really going to happen with him down the road. But it doesn't matter. You could throw anybody in this system, and they're going to shine. Look what Hogan has done. This guy has came out of nowhere, and he had that great record-breaking game last week with 180 yards or whatever it was. I mean, the dude was a complete stud in that game. But it's just a system. It's a system team. And you just give Tom Brady weapons, and he's just going to tear you up. So
just give him white guys. Just give him white guys.
That's what they've done. You got Amendola. You've got Edelman. You have Hogan. I mean,
Gronk is white.
Gronk. I mean, it's just New England. I'm surprised they didn't bring like a Peyton Hillis or maybe McCaffrey even goes there.
You already know that they're going to draft Cooper Kupp. That's going to be their guy.
Cooper Kupp and McCaffrey to make it the New England all-white team for
Ed McCaffrey in the 1st round, Cooper Kupp in the 2nd.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised to watch them dominate and win another Super Bowl with these guys.
Yeah. All right, let's see. What else is on the agenda? Okay. Let's get into the matchups now because it'll be interesting to see what happens. Number 1 ranked rush defense are the Patriots. The Patriots are also known to take your best player away, and that's going to be Julio Jones. So the question I have for you is this. If you can't run the ball and they take away Julio Jones, can the Falcons still win this game?
Yeah, you got Mohamed Sanu, you got Taylor Gabriel, and don't forget about those 2 running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield, which is huge. Even if they do stop them on the run, you have the ability to run them out on wheel routes, screen plays, so that adds another dynamic. You could take Julio out, and they still thrived. You got Jake. Is Jacob Tammy playing in this game? Oh, they got Hooper.
Well, they got Austin Hooper.
Yeah, so Hooper's come up big too. So this is just a well-oiled machine they have here. That was, I think, a very underrated signing when they brought in Mohamed Sanu.
No, I completely agree with you because I think because they you can go tight end. You got your 2 wide receiver options, Gabriel and Sanu, and your guys out of the backfield, Tevin Coleman, and what's his fucking name? Blanking. Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, Brett Freeman. That's it.
So you got those 2 guys out of the backfield. You got different levels you can attack because Gabriel's like a deep guy. Sanu works underneath. You got the guys coming out of the backfield. You got Hooper. So you got 4 or 5 other different options that you can go to. That doesn't have to include Julio Jones. And because the Patriots' pass rush isn't that great, Matt Ryan's going to have a lot of time to throw and survey the field.
And they've had a solid line. You got to give the credit. Alex Mack, I think, was a huge.
Oh, he changed the whole. Yeah, he changed everything there for them. Yeah.
He made that team gel together. They got the left tackle in Matthews. That was a great draft a couple years ago. They solidified that, but they've had a really, really good line. So you're giving Matt Ryan some time to be able to pick that apart. And I think that there is a weakness to this defense for the Patriots. I think you can expose their linebackers. They're not all that great. Dante Hightower, I think you'll be able to pick apart with he's not going to be able to cover Tevin Coleman. So, because he's really a thumper to stop the run game. So you can expose their linebackers. And I don't think their cornerbacks are like Malcolm Butler is great, but Logan Ryan's okay. But I think you can expose Harmon and guys like this. But McCourty and Butler are going to be on Julio Jones. So that's going to leave one-on-one coverage with Mohamed Sanu, who's fast, who's big, and he's got really good hands. And you can line Taylor Gabriel up in the backfield, give a jet sweep. So you can mix and match these guys, line them out as wide receivers if they're running backs, and then vice versa.
Yeah, I think the Patriots cornerbacks are like underrated. Like I think they're good. I love Butler. I think Malcolm Butler is a stud.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, Logan Ryan's like average, whatever. Like he's okay. Like I think he's actually a free agent at the end of the year, so he could actually be a guy that the Eagles could sign. Hell knows. Yeah, because I don't think he'd be a lot of money. And then obviously they got Eric Rowe too. So yeah, that's such a great pickup for them, Eric Rowe. Oh my God, I'm still pissed. I don't give a shit if people tell me to get over it. I am not getting over it. Eric Rowe's a good cornerback, and we don't have any cornerbacks, and we traded him.
You got rid of him. It makes no sense.
So if people are going to get pissed about Chip and what he did, then hell yeah, I'm going to get pissed. People still talk about Deshaun Jackson, but I'm not allowed to get pissed over Eric Rowe?
You have every right to get. That was a very stupid trade.
So stupid. Oh, everything that Howie did last year, I was saying was overrated, and I was right. I'm always right. Fucking Vinny Curry, overrated ass.
Benny Logan will be gone too. But not to stray off the subject.
Yeah. Let's get back to the Super Bowl. Eric Rowe's part of it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I didn't want to start going off on the Eagles and what they should do too, because then I would have kept going. So I had to stop myself before I started getting into that.
All right, here's what I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Because the Falcons have scored touchdowns on their opening drive in 8 straight games. And I'm really curious because this is the Super Bowl. This is it. This is everything, right? So are they going to still come out hot, or are they going to be too nervous and kind of get off to a slow start? Because what we've been seeing from the Falcons, they've been blowing everybody out of the water. They're getting off to these 14, 21-0 starts, and they're just blowing everybody out. Is that going to happen on Sunday?
No, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think.
Well, I'm saying. The question is, are they going to get off to another strong start, or are they going to succumb to the pressure?
I think the pressure is huge because they've never been on this stage before. 1998 was the last time they were in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's been a really, really. I mean, Matt Ryan was probably like 5 years old or whoever it was. I don't know how old he is, but it's been a long time. I think that they won't go out there and drive all the way down the field just because of Bill Belichick and the way he plans. And I think and I don't like that the league does this, that they kind of prolong and put it 2 weeks after the
I don't like that either.
Championship round. You should have it right after the championship round.
Yeah, they used to do that, and they did that for a little while, and then they stopped. I think the last time they might have done it was that Rams and Titans Super Bowl.
Yeah, 99.
That's the last time I can remember them doing it.
It's been a long time since they've done it, and I hate that they kind of prolong it and stretch it out. It's good, I kind of guess, for the teams, but it could kill a team like the Falcons because they were such on a hot streak. You want to kind of ride that momentum into there, and I just don't think it's going to be that. There's going to be jitters for Matt Ryan because he has succumbed to the pressure before in previous years. This is the big game. This is the first time he's in a Super Bowl. You're going up against Tom Brady, the best quarterback, the GOAT.
Yeah.
That's all going to be in his mind. So the question is Dan Quinn going to have a game plan to stop Tom Brady? Now he's coached him three out of the 4 Super Bowls, 2 at Seattle and now 1 as the head coach of the Falcons. Has he had enough time and film study to be able to you're not going to stop Tom Brady, but to kind of get pressure on him? And the recipe to stop Tom Brady is get pressure on him, but much like Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I'll say this. Obviously, Dan Quinn, part of that Seattle coaching staff 2 years ago when they faced the Patriots, Super Bowl 49?
49.
48, 49. So 28-24 game there. Allowed 28 points, but it wasn't like an awful defensive performance. It was just, Tom Brady's still going to do what he does.
Yeah.
Now, so it's like for Dan Quinn, I think the number is like 24 points. If you can hold them to 24, I think Atlanta can score over that. Do I think that's going to happen? I think the winner of this game scores 30, and I think that's just I think what we're going to see is a slow start from the Falcons. Not necessarily slow, but like not what it's been, and it might be like say 10-7 Patriots at halftime. In the second half, both offenses are going to be humming. And basically, whoever has the ball last, I think, is going to win. But I think Patriots are just going to win this game. Every Super Bowl that they've been in has been a close game.
Mm-hmm.
No blowouts for anything, for any of them. And I just think Brady's just going to beat Matt Ryan at the end.
And I wonder if the focal point for Dan Quinn is going to be he's going to be focused so much on Tom Brady. Watch them come out and just run the ball down their throat.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is like Bill Belichick is a chameleon. And it's like 1 week he throws the ball around, then the next week, because this happened in the Deflategate, the year that they went to the Super Bowl, the year that they won the Super Bowl. Against whoever they played in the divisional round, they threw the ball a ton. I'm trying to remember who they played.
Wasn't it the Chiefs?
No, this was 2 years ago. But I just remember against the Colts, they ran the ball. They ran the ball the whole game, and they blew them out. But the week prior, they threw the ball a ton, and they barely ran it. And this is what they do. Each game is a different game plan. It's very, very difficult to prepare for them because they don't have a set game plan every single week. It's always something different. They're always trying to focus on your weaknesses defensively, and they try to capitalize on it. And that's what they do. And they're just able to do it.
It's amazing. And they have the ability to switch from a 3-4 to a 4-3. And that's why he's such a genius. You could game plan for a 3-4. He could come out and switch it to a 4-3. I mean, he's just that great of a coach to where he puts his players in every situation to be able to do things like this. And I wouldn't be surprised if they went in there and ran it down their throat with Blunt, with White, with even a guy like Bolden could come up, or Dion Lewis. There could be an unsung hero. There is every game they play. It's the guy that you least expect. Malcolm Mitchell could come out and have a great game this week. I mean, you just don't know, and that's what makes them so hard to face. And they don't have a very good run defense. They got one of the worst run defenses, and that's why I'm surprised Green Bay didn't exploit that more.
Yeah, great. Well, obviously Green Bay is not known for running the ball, even though Ty Montgomery did emerge near the end of the year. And well, the Packers got down so early that they just they had to throw to get because they were playing from behind. But in this situation, I think what the Patriots have to do, I think they are going to incorporate a lot of the run and a lot of misdirection stuff because they have a lot of young linebackers and the young safety and Keanu Neal. You got Deion Jones, and these guys are young. So, I think you can get them on misdirection. This is something I saw that the Eagles did when they beat the Falcons. A lot of misdirection stuff, linebackers over pursuing, and that's what opens up the holes and the gaps for the running backs to run through.
3 rookies, too, that they have starting. They got Neil Deion Jones and DeAndre Campbell.
Yeah. DeAndre Campbell. He's like a 4th-round pick. So, it's not like these guys are like early round picks. These, Deion Jones, I think, was second. Keanu Neal was first, but
no, Deion Jones, I think, was a 5th round pick.
Deion Jones is, who am I thinking? Who was in the 2nd round then? Who the fuck am I thinking of?
Who did they get in the 2nd round?
Now I'm looking. I'm curious.
Because I know Deion Jones fell because he's one of those prototypical, like, small linebacker, like a Telvin Smith.
Yeah. Could be right. I could be wrong.
And I know those two linebackers were later round picks. Keanu Neal was their 1st overall pick. I can't remember who they took in the 2nd round.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. And unfortunately, Google's giving me problems.
But it's like they have to close on their gaps. And
Deion Jones was 2nd round.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought he was a 4th or 5th round pick.
Devondre was the 4th round pick.
Ah.
So it was Keanu Neal 1st round, Deion Jones 2nd, Austin Hooper, and then Devondre.
I'm sorry. That's my apologies. I thought he was a later round pick, but they're going to have to close on their gaps and tackle. But that's a good thing about Dan Campbell. His team knows how to tackle because he comes from that Seattle. Pardon me.
Yeah, the Seattle background
where they know how to close the gaps and they tackle. That's one of the teams that just don't really miss tackles all that often.
Yeah.
And it's just you're just going to have to stick to your game plan. And I'm just excited for the Super Bowl. I just hope it's not a blowout. I hope they plan. I hope the jitters aren't on for Matty Ice. We're pulling for Matty Ice because he's a Philly guy too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. All right. One more topic before we get to our prediction. Kyle Shanahan forgot his book bag. You think Bill was trying to steal it?
I think something happened. Could this be another thing of Bill Belichick, quote unquote, cheating? Did he send somebody backpack gate? Did he send somebody out there to steal Kyle Shanahan's playbook to figure out what they're going to do? Everybody's thinking it. Don't say that you're not. Is this a new level of cheating for Bill Belichick and the Patriots? Hey, man, if it doesn't get you caught, more power to you.
Hey, but someone pull the fire alarm against the Steelers.
That's true. They did. They got arrested for that. Anything it takes, any little edge you could get on your team. For Kyle Shanahan. Come on, guy.
I'll tell you what. I think Kyle Shanahan is going to make a good coach.
Mm-hmm. I do, too.
I'm just curious to see if he can succeed in San Francisco because that's like a black hole over there.
Oh, it is. It's terrible. A team that it's got such great lineage too.
Yeah.
And they went from this to this within years. You know, the whole Harbaugh situation. It's Jed York. We all know who it is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's awful. They got to just oust him out. But I'm pulling for the guy. He deserves a head coaching job. He's been nothing but great this year with this offense. Interesting to see what happens with them next year, who steps up and see if the Falcons can get back to the playoffs then too. Yeah, that's a huge piece.
I love his offense, dude. I love it. He's got so many different formations. It's just awesomeness.
And it's nothing like his dad's at all.
Not at all. Yeah. It's different. Yeah. It's awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm really curious to see if it works, somewhere else. Like San Francisco is like an awful offense, obviously. Not a lot of talent there.
They got nothing. They got Hyde, really.
That's it.
That's it on offense. They got nothing.
Like their receivers might be worse than the Eagles, like literally. Like Patton or whoever the hell's on that team.
Oh God, Curley was their number one option.
Curley.
Oh, Jeremy Curley.
Torrey Smith over past his prime now.
Injury plague. They have they got Garrett Selleck, I think, at their tight end. They got really no offensive line.
McDonald's like a blocking tight end for them.
Oh, it's a shame. That's putrid. I don't know why anyone would want to go there. But kudos to him for wanting to get, you got a head coaching job finally. So,
yeah. Anyway, the San Francisco 49ers just made our Super Bowl preview. How about that?
Woo!
All right, let's do predictions for the game. Who you got? Who's going to win the MVP?
Well, if the Patriots win, we all know who it's going to. It's going to go to Tom Brady, obviously. So I got the Patriots coming out on top. I think it's going to be 27-14. Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl MVP.
All right. I know I said first team to 30, but I got 27-24 Patriots. I'm gonna go with Eric Rowe winning Super Bowl MVP.
Wow.
No, I'm just
I like
kidding.
I like it.
I just felt like being a troll. All right, I'm gonna try and think of somebody that is not Tom Brady. That's hard.
Who is who?
Deion Lewis. Fuck it.
Okay.
I'll go Deion Lewis because I think they are going to run the ball, and I think Deion's also a threat in the backfield. So I see a game similar to like what he did in the divisional playoffs where he had like 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I see something like that.
Hopefully he holds on to the ball.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So as long as he doesn't fumble and he scores 2 touchdowns, he will win Super Bowl MVP. It's probably going to be Brady, but like, all right, pick somebody else. Just throw a name out there. That's not Brady.
Edelman.
Okay, there
I
you
think
go.
Edelman's gonna have a big game. Honestly, I think he could.
I like that one. I'm curious who's going to be. I'm curious who Trufant's going to be on. Is he going to be on Edelman? You think?
I think he'll be on Edelman because you figure who's Deion Lewis big enough to be on Martell. Now Keanu Neal will probably be on Martellus Bennett. And then you got who's that young kid from LSU that they got the other corner opposed to Trufant?
What's his name?
With the dreads, I can't think of his name.
Yeah. Jalen Collins.
Yeah, Jalen Collins. Dude, he's a bigger guy, so you figure he's probably going to be on like a Malcolm Mitchell. So I definitely think he'll be on the shiftiness of Edelman because you get him out in the open field, it's game over. But even let me pose this question to you: even if Deion Lewis does have a great game on the ground and through the air and has 2 touchdowns, you don't think they'll still give it to Tom Brady? Reason being because I don't know if you remember this, and this made me so mad when this happened in the Super Bowl with Ben Roethlisberger and the bus. The bus had like 3 totes for like 5 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they gave him the Super Bowl MVP. Even though, like, I just hope it's something like that, like that they just give it to the waning player like that, like a player like that, just because it happened a couple years ago too with the Giants. I think like Eli had a phenomenal game, and they gave it to somebody else.
Well, like Strahan when he retired.
No, it wasn't Strahan. It was just like I don't know, like. I don't know if it was the Giants. I'm just thinking it was. Or it was like a Manningham or somebody like that. Somebody that didn't deserve it got it. And I can't remember who it was. Pardon me, who it was. It might have been a Baltimore Super Bowl. I don't remember. But it was another situation like that to where he really didn't do anything and he just gets it because he's that iconic of a player. You're like, oh, here you go, Tom Brady. Have the car and the Super Bowl MVP.
All right, here we go. I got all the Super Bowl MVPs listed right here. Actually, the one you're thinking of with the bus, Hines Ward won that.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Let's see, Eli won 2000, and Eli won both Super Bowl MVPs. Joe Flacco won one. So a lot of quarterbacks recently. Santonio Holmes, the one where he had the catch.
It was a great catch. That was deserving.
Yeah. The only one that's like off the radar is Malcolm Smith over the last like decade.
Yeah, because he had that pick.
Yeah. Tom Brady won it 2 years ago. Von Miller last year.
That was deserving too.
Yeah, Von Miller, whoever he was going up, the tackle he was going up against, he had no chance because he was like, just wasn't his. Who I don't even remember who the hell the tackle was.
I don't either. That was a while ago. Who was it?
I want to say like Readers or something like somebody that wasn't any good. Let me see. I'll know it if I see the name.
Who was that? You're right, because he just like blew right past him, and he was just right there. Right place.
No, I won a prop bets pool last year, and I saw like, oh my God, he's going to be on Von Miller. Like he's got no. Mike Remmers, I think was the guy.
Remmers.
Remmers, yeah. I almost got it.
Close enough.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go.
But did Hines Ward that year, did he have that big game? I don't remember if he did. But Ben Roethlisberger.
I remember he had like a 40-yard touchdown. There was like I remember there being a gimmick play, I think.
Yeah, and it was like nothing. I don't even think he had a big Super Bowl. That's what I was.
If I remember, I think he had like 100 yards. But let me check.
Nothing special.
If I remember correctly, I think he had a big game.
God, that was so long ago.
That was Super Bowl 40. That was 11 years ago.
05, 06?
Yeah. 21-10 was the score of that game.
Against Seattle.
Yeah. 5 for 123 and a touchdown for Hines.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Big Ben. Huh. Big Ben was 9 of 21.
Oh my God. That's
9 of 21 for 123 yards. Hines Ward had 5 catches for 123 yards.
Man, that's awesome. You go, Ben.
Yeah, that was his second year, remember?
Second year, right. So he rode that defense, though. It was a good running game. You had Hines Ward, and it was a great defense.
They only had 4 guys make receptions in that game. The Steelers.
Wow. That wasn't a good Super Bowl. That Super Bowl was pretty awful.
Yeah, it wasn't good. That was like a controversial one too. I remember that the refs were real bad against the Seahawks.
Yeah, were they?
If I remember correctly.
I guess the Matt Hasselbeck, Sean Alexander era.
Yeah, yeah.
Oof.
How about that? All right. We got any more final thoughts, and then we'll get out. I do it every time. I said we're going to do 10, 15 minutes, and it's like 35 minutes.
See, man, we got this. No problem. See, since the Super Bowl is in Houston, where is Tony Romo going next year? Could he be in Houston next year?
Denver. I'm saying Denver.
Denver?
Houston's a good one too, though. I can see Houston because it is Texas.
In home state, does Jerry Jones give him the gratitude of trading him, or do they cut him? I think they're going to try to trade him.
I think they're going to trade him. Yeah, I think they'll trade him. Yeah, I mean, obviously, both Denver. Actually, now that I think about it, Houston actually probably makes more sense, but because it is Texas and they have they're like Denver, like they have the defense, they're ready to win now. They got stars on defense, but Houston has a better
line, way better line.
Yeah, I mean, they both have receivers. I mean, I would think Denver's receivers actually better.
They got a better running back in Houston.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By far. I think Denver's the better team for Romo.
Yeah.
They both went 8-8, 9-7 this year, so it's.
Yeah.
But I think Romo on the Broncos. The Broncos are better than Romo with the Texans.
I think we all want to see that situation where he goes out to Denver, and it would be like Peyton Manning all over again.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to see him win a Super Bowl.
Well, not that he win a Super Bowl, but a situation for him to.
Yeah, it is similar. Yeah, it's the same kind. Like it's going to depend on if John Elway thinks Paxton Lynch is ready to win right now.
Which I don't think he is. But then you got to take.
I don't like Paxton Lynch. I think he's a bum. So
yeah, he's oafish, but it's like Tony Romo with all his injuries. Do you put him back behind that very inexperienced line unless they go make some moves? They
would have to.
Get a Drew Thomas maybe
if they can get him.
I don't know.
Like if you're already giving up draft picks for Romo, I don't know if you can give up draft picks for Thomas, but yeah, that'll be an interesting storyline moving forward. So we'll see what happens. Tony, now that I think about it, I think Houston's going to be where he goes.
More than likely, probably just because it's in state and it's in Texas.
Yeah, and he's going to have DeAndre because like he likes to throw the back shoulder ball. DeAndre, I mean that's easy.
It's perfect, and you're not you'll take a hit by cutting Osweiler. I think it's a $25 million dump or something like that.
Okay. I can look that up overthecap.com. It's good for that stuff.
So
I would think that he would have there would be a massive penalty on cutting him.
Yeah, with that contract that he signed, but we know that experiment didn't work out. But you get a proven player in Tony Romo, and like that connection with DeAndre Hopkins, his numbers will soar if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, they can't cut him.
Oh, they can't?
They can, but
it will be a huge hit. Is it over $25 million?
$19 million. They would have to pay him $6 million to cut.
Oh wow!
Well, the dead money is $25 million.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
Like, so you're not saving anything. You're waiting until 2018 to cut him because that's a $21 million cap number with $6 million in dead money, and you'd save $15 million. So you'd wait, and then 2019 is even friendlier, where it's $20 million cap number, $3 million dead money, $17 million saving. But in terms of cutting him next year, it's like the Aguilar situation. I don't think the Eagles are going to pay Aguilar like $5 million to cut him. Like I don't. I think he's just going to stay because it's better off just keeping him than cutting him.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense to do it. So he'll just be a backup if that does happen. Does in fact happen.
Yeah. So it's just something that they did. I mean, they realized, I guess, they'd rather have a guy that was established than wait in the draft. I don't know. That was their decision. Like, they were ready to win now. They didn't want to wait on a Carson Wentz or Paxton Lynch or whatever. They didn't want to wait because those guys were projects last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to win now, and they thought Brock Osweiler was going to be the guy. And it wasn't. Like, I could have told you it wasn't going to work, but.
No, of course not. I mean, if John Elway is letting you walk, there's a red flag right there.
Yeah, right?
Come on, like, hello. And you had such a small sample size of what he had done. To give him that type of money is asinine.
Yeah. So.
Good God.
Fucking 4 for 72. Wow.
It's ridiculous. And they did it just because you got J.J. Watt. He's in a prime of his career to try to make
Yeah. They were trying to win right now. They were sick and tired of bringing in Brian Hoyer every year, like having these quarterbacks that just weren't going to get the job. Ryan Mallett,
yeah.
We've been trying to find somebody since Matt Schaub left, and they haven't.
Yeah. Tom Savage hasn't been the answer.
Schaub wasn't like anything special.
But he wasn't bad. He had a couple good years. He had a couple good years there.
He's better than average.
Yeah, he's not bad. Now he's with the Falcons. He's back with the Falcons, backing up Matty Ice. He could get his championship.
That's what he was doing before. He was the backup in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then he got his starting opportunity. All right, so that's about wrapping up. I guess that was our final thought for this show.
Yep.
So we did 2 today. Double Shot Thursday from the Bitter Birds. Kyle Gaffner, I'm Adrian Fetju. This is our Super Bowl preview. Hopefully you guys enjoy the game, and we'll be doing a recap, I guess, the Monday after. We'll see how it works and with our schedule. So that's it from us. We're out.
See you guys.